Today on the Gearhead Gardener, we're back out on the city streets looking for some wild figs that are growing and see if we can propagate some and identify them and come back at another time when they have some fruit on it. So if this is something you're interested in, let's get started. Okay, I come across this tree that's growing here on the city property up on this little hill. And I'm going to do is just take a couple cuttings, take them home and propagate them. We're in the very end of fall here, and my whole idea is that I want to wake them up. I don't want them to go to sleep. Let's wake these figs up. So I'm going to come back during the summertime when there's some actual fruit and see what it is. But until then, I want to try and get some rootstock going with these and trying to identify them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay till the end because I'm going to give you a little surprise that you guys weren't expecting. Thanks for watching. This was this big vibrant one that was growing real well. Here's a first look at the figs that I am going to call Martha's figs because they are on Martha Street in the affluent neighborhood. So that's what we're going to call these. So I was able to get some cuttings that were some were dragging on the ground. They all look good. Lots of nodes, lots and lots of nodes. So we're going to set these aside and play with these. Okay, I'm going to refer to these from now on as Martha's because I found this on a street called Martha in the affluent neighborhood, growing on the side of a busy street on the slope owned by the city. Intro. So these are what I cut off of this tree. I didn't look for fruit because I was kind of in a hurry because my car was double parked on the busy street. So I've got these units here. Now I'm going to cut these down, manageable, put in this box. My idea is I'm going to put some soil at the bottom of this, and I'm going to stick all of these branches, cut down, in here, and I'm going to put a lid on it, maybe one air hole, and then I'm going to put it out in the sun, because just this water sitting in here is lukewarm, and it's, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're in the middle of fall. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to grab my cutters and I'm going to make some cuts here and just get these down to more manageable sizes. But I also want to keep some of these chunks because I want to kind of root, these for use as future trees. That one's broken. That one's got a great twist to it. That one looks good. So this one I kind of want to go fairly low. This one's got a couple of really nice wounds on it, and I think it's really going to help start rooting it down here, and I'll show you why. I have another one that's the same thing, real skinny, it's beat up, but it's the first one that I've got that's budding out. So, all right, here's the one I was talking about. I was going to throw it out just because the top of it was so beat up. You see it at a couple of pretty rough areas. Look at that. But then in the water, this is the first one that's starting to really bud out. It's got one little root going there. I'm gonna put this back in the water. I got more than I thought I would. Okay, let me get you caught up. What I've been doing here is got my scions ready. They're all going to go into this size pot, as many as I can fit, except for these 6 I'm going to keep aside because they're going to be in 1 gallon. These are going to be in water in the garage. And I'm going to root this one a different way. But so what I do is I just, right below a node, I give it like a bit of an angle cut, and I just kind of give it a hash mark in just a couple places. I've even just been putting an X across these nodes like this, just to make it different. And I put a couple slices in it this way, and maybe scrape off a little bark there to expose the cambium. And I give it a dip and a shake, and I just set it aside and let it dry out. So what I'm gonna do is Same thing with all these small ones. I'm gonna put small ones and a couple of these big ones in here and put it in HOTBOX. Like I said, put the lid on it and put it out in the sun, and just keep an eye on it because it's going to get really, really hot inside there. And we'll see if how fast that'll wake these up. Some of these that have big wounds in here, I'm going to get my wound paste out and I'm going to try and seal these off so we don't get any leakage from that. All right, so I'm going to continue sticking these, and I'll come back to you shortly. So some of these I'm not even going to go and do any kind of hash marks on. I'm just going to go ahead and stick them that way just to see what our other chances are. And for a knife, because people ask, you know, about tools all the time, how cool is this? I found this going through a box of old knives at a swap meet. Really vintage grafting knife. Pretty cool. I like it. All right, let's get you guys caught up here. I've got my pot marked Martha, today's date, and this is going to be the one that's going to be always in the hot box until they get separated out. Here's the hot box. When I use this cut paste. It's called, it's a wound paste. Put it on a little bit light. I need to go over it again, but it dries out nicely. This is what I use on bonsai to stop it from drying out, but it seems to work pretty good. So those are going to sit in the hot box over in the sun there, and then before the end of this video I'm going to take a measurement of the temperature that's going to be inside of it. So first thing I'm going to do is seal that off. Okay, as far as my 6-pack adventure here, you can see they've all been trimmed, they've all been dusted, and I got holes in the pots. They're all getting planted, and they've all been labeled. This one is a little different. I'm going to take this, and you can see how many different points it has. Let's count them. There are 6 different points. I forgot to put hormone on that one, but that's all right. We'll see what that'll do. And that's going to go upside down in here. And I'm going to bury it all the way down. Oh, I'm going to put some cut paste, some wound sealer on the tip here. I'm going to glob that on there. Okay, these will sit on my fig rack with the rest of the projects. Moving on to here. These I want to put in a jar in a windowsill inside the shop. So I'm going to do the same thing here. You see I already got my cut paste in here. And we've got 6 points on that. No, 5 points on that. And that's going to sit here upside down in the jar with a couple of stalks. That's going to get labeled Martha, sit on the windowsill, and we're going to keep an eye on that a different way. There you go, 11:15 a.m. It's Friday morning, November 25th. 68 degrees in the shop, 87 degrees outside. Okay, so check this out. Like I showed you, it's 11:30 in the morning, November 25th. It's pretty warm outside, but these are all my big fat stumps I'm going to try and root. You tell me if these are going to root in this kind of soil. You can see here, I'm just going to move the soil out of the way a little bit. I'm going to check the temperature. I'd say 85 degrees. That should root pretty good. That's the soil temperature. There's one uncovered in the ground. Los Angeles. Let's grow figs year round. So here's the hot box. That's me in the shadow, huh? I just tested it, and it's about 80 degrees in there. So we're going to come back in about 2 hours and see how hot it is in there. Okay, my trusty wagon I've had. Oh, let's turn Martha around. I had these Martha cuttings just sitting out here, getting some sun, letting the water warm up, and I'm just something else I got going on with a couple of hot boxes here. Also too, some of my cuttings, they just sit out here so they can sweat in the heat. But I've got these boxes that I filled up just with all my spare cuttings and some dirt. I'm gonna go get my temperature gauge. That's staying plenty hot in that box. That's going to trigger some growth really fast. Now let's take a look at our hot box. It's 1:15 in the afternoon and we have 120 degrees in this box. That's definitely going to confuse these figs and get them to wake up. All right, let's put the lid back on. All right, so this one is the one that, like I said, is going to be upside down. Let's see, there's a node growing out there, a branch node, and we're going to hope that that's going to shoot out and head straight up as a leader and root well. All right, so that's it. It's like I said, November 25th. We are going to try and wake these guys up. As you can see, I got the rest of them over here sitting in the bottles underneath them, keeping them warm. All right, so we're gonna end this video here. We're gonna come back in just a few short weeks and see if we have any life in here. So thanks for watching Gearhead Gardener here on Filet TV channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Come along with me on this journey as I fix up these old cars, work on my trees, grow figs, and do anything else that I want to do in my retirement. Thanks for watching. Gearhead Gardener. Ciao.